It's a wonderful honour to be here to speak with you and be part of this important gathering today. During the past week, I played a lot with my grandchildren. They're all under 10. And several years ago, I dedicated myself to only do those things that I thought would benefit them and their generation. And one of those things is to be a participant in whatever will facilitate religious harmony towards peace building. So let me then offer just 3 little reflections that tell you a little of really good things that are happening currently and in which we can be partners together. But just to back up with one other sentence, I've learned so much. As a disciple of Jesus, I've learned so much from my dear friends in other faith traditions that has helped me to be a better disciple of Jesus. And one of the initiatives that we have coming in the period ahead is an international conference on the connection between meditation and peace building. Because I've learned so much about the synergies between our different traditions and practices of meditation, the way in which they all help us to acquire a greater inner awareness, a greater discipline as regards what we think about, what we allow to shape our words and our actions. I've learned so much from other faith traditions about spiritual practice that helps have a better integration of one's inner life and one's outer life. And so in partnership with people from Meditation Australia, from the 2 meditation centres at Monash and Melbourne University, and with people from the Buddhist, the Muslim, the Hindu, the Sikh, and the Brahma Kumari traditions with Christian friends, we're having this conference on the connection between meditation and peace building. Because it's so clear that with circumstances as they are, the application of our wisdom regarding meditation and the importance of a disciplined practice will help us to be better peace builders and make our world a more peaceful place. A second little reflection pertains to a gathering next Sunday in Collins Street Baptist Church. I came here today from our church in Port Melbourne. It's the Anzac Day weekend. I had on one side of the altar the icon of Kiev, which we've had there for a year as we continue to pray for the cessation of that terrible violence inflicted on the people of Ukraine. On the other side, I had a picture of my father underneath the pyramids in Egypt in 1944. He had just escaped from terrible suffering of the Nazis in Greece and saw much that he never really recovered from, such as the trauma caused by war and violence. But they reached safety in Egypt, and the picture kind of conveys that. So I had it there for Anzac Day, because Anzac Day weekend, we remember what the cost of the freedom, the democratic freedom of our country is. We're not a perfect country, but at our service this morning, in the congregation, there were people from Iran who'd had to flee from Iran because of the torture that they had suffered in that country. We had people from a number of countries. We had also Dr. Tun, who's the representative here of the National Unity Government of Myanmar, and with him we're organising this prayer service for Myanmar next Sunday, a country currently under a military regime in which there's been further suffering in these past weeks. There will be participation by all the major faith traditions at this service next Sunday. Through our prayers, through our humanitarian assistance, through our continued advocacy with our own government, with the ASEAN nations and with the United Nations, we continue to seek to facilitate a just peace for the long-suffering people, the beautiful people of Myanmar. But that's a cameo of how wonderful, complex, not perfect by any means, but how wonderful Australia is, and how important your contribution, our contribution together, is to the facilitating of this great possibility that Australia can be an island of exquisite compassion. We can be the place, the compassionate continent, where people truly practice, if we all follow the depths of our faith traditions, where people truly practice that under no circumstances ever should we ever do to anybody else what we would not want done to ourselves. Living into that possibility is the possibility of our religious harmony together. Just briefly and finally, there is a wonderful interfaith community of people seeking to ensure the prevention of catastrophic climate change. With you all, I know that today is Earth Day. Around the world, we're appreciating the beauty of God's creation. It was there in the beautiful chant as we were sitting here meditating earlier. This week, I went to the zoo. I took my grandson and another little boy. The person who was our guide was someone who's a musician, an exquisite musician, who in the pandemic lost all his work, and he became very depressed. He lost all his confidence. And in the deepest and the darkest time, he started to go to the zoo. And you know what happened? The animals helped him recover his health. As we went around the zoo last Wednesday, I saw, as he talked to the animals, his love for them, his knowledge of them, his knowledge of the people who are looking after them, his knowledge of what their circumstances are and what the risks are that they face. And as he was sharing, and these two little boys under 10 were completely enchanted by the magic of his conversation, we were beside where the baby hippopotamus, and he knows the baby hippopotamus. The baby hippopotamus made him well. It comes under the water, up to him, and kind of kisses him through the screen. It just was such an indicator of how the whole creation wants us to be in harmony, wants us to appreciate this exquisite gift of life on this planet Earth in this incomprehensibly vast universe of divine creation. Gifted with life, every moment precious. Let's participate together in this beautiful work of religious harmony towards a peace and a just creation. As I close, for dear His Holiness, I have 2 roses from our front garden and an olive wood heart from the olive trees of Bethlehem. Thank you.